You know what's crazy?
What?
So, we all got to be up early for work tomorrow. And, we're not trying to drink a lot. And we're like, we're 25, 26 years old. And not too long ago, I feel like 3 years ago, it was 2018, and we went out for my birthday, a couple of us, and, you had to be up early for work the next day.
I did.
You had to be up very early for work the next day.
That's when I was selling cars, right?
Yeah. And we were in Patchogue, and I think it was our last stop. Had to be our last stop for the night. It was a long night of drinking because we pre-gamed at my old house in
Yes, in Port Jeff.
In Port Jeff.
Port G.
Port G.
Port G.
And we pre-gamed, then I think we Ubered to Patchogue. And we got there pretty late, but we were already pretty banged up.
Fucked up, yeah.
And we made our way. I forget what bar we were in by the end of the night. It was definitely like our last stop, and you had to be up for work. I want to say in 4 hours,
Yeah.
honestly, 4 hours. We didn't expect to be out that late, and it's funny how it was not too long ago. It was 3 years ago, and then we really didn't care too much about our jobs the next day and what we had to do.
No, definitely.
And we were all banged up. None of us were driving, and we were marching around, and I got that good snap of you stomping around in the bar, and I think by the end of the night, we took the Uber back to my house. From what I remember, we made a pit stop at Taco Bell, and I think that's kind of where I blacked out for the night, and I checked out.
Wasn't that in the Uber?
Yeah, we made the Uber driver. We made the Uber driver take us to Taco Bell, right?
That was great.
And oh man! And by the time we got back to my house, I was done, and I remember going into my bathroom. And I knew I wasn't gonna throw up, but I knew I was done. So I remember just.
I have a picture of that.
Yeah, you picture me sitting on the floor.
Yep.
And I was sitting on the floor, and I was like, I'm not gonna throw up, but I gotta go by the toilet bowl right now and just sit. And I wound up. I remember sitting, because my bathroom was right by it was near the living room. So I remember listening to all you guys talk, right, and just bullshit at the end of the night. And I'm sitting on the floor. And I must have just passed out with my head on the toilet bowl. And then you guys came in and took that picture of me just sitting there.
Yep.
And I fell asleep listening to you guys talk. And I remember waking up, still banged up in the middle of the night. You guys were still talking. Like you guys were still going. You might have even still been drinking, honestly. And I didn't even say anything. I just woke up in my bathroom, walked upstairs into my room, passed out, and then I had to be in the city the next day for my birthday, and I went to the city the next day, running late, behind by like 2 hours. I went in the same clothes that I was wearing the night before. Didn't even shower. I think I left you. I don't know if I left you guys at my house. You guys might have still been there when I left.
You might have. I don't remember.
And we recapped the next day, and Sal had work the next day, very early, the car salesman, and he had to be ready to go, and he was telling me about his night, and he's like, dude, I don't know how to get your shower to work, because you walked into my house with your clothes already pressed for the next day, hung up, and you're like, listen, we're getting banged up tonight, so I'm having my clothes prepared. And I'm going to get up, no matter how drunk I am, the next day.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to head to work, no matter how hungover I am. And he told me, he was like, yeah, I don't know how to get your shower to work. So I remember standing in your shower, and I couldn't get the top water head to work. I could only get the bottom one to work. So I took my clothes off, and I'm standing in front of your shower, just spraying my lower body with water. Still drunk, just trying to get some water on my body. And drove to work the next day, still pretty banged up.
Dude,
and I'm just picturing him. I'm picturing him just hunched over in my shower. Like, just...
Bro, that was the hardest shower head to
Yeah.
get. I still remember it.
When I moved
still
in-
remember
Yeah.
me still being drunk and like, how the fuck does the shower turn on? I don't even think fucking Elon Musk can turn that fucking thing on. Still to this day. And I remember just sitting there. I'm so confused. I'm like, I gotta do something. I gotta shower. And I made it work. I got changed. I got in my car. Went to work, and I remember my boss was like, "Yo, you look shot. Just go in your car and sleep for a couple hours." And that's what I did. I slept in my car for a couple hours.
You guys woke me. I was knocked out, dead asleep in my bed, and you guys came into my room and was like, "You were supposed to be in the city like an hour ago." And I shot out of bed, still in the same clothes, said, "Fuck it, I'm just going to brush my teeth, put on deodorant, and head out. You guys can stay if you want." And it's so good. It's funny, like, you know, it wasn't too long ago. It was 2018, 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And we just went for it. We just went for it. Time's a little different now, but, you know, we still get it done. But yeah, man, that was a good night. We have, with that night, just from start to finish, you guys have us pre-gaming at my house and just...
Wait, was that the night I also bought a bottle of that tequila?
That was the
first
next
time?
year. That was the next year.
Oh, okay.
That was the like the $200 bottle of tequila. Yeah, and we finished it. I saved it. I saved the bottle because it was a nice bottle. Oh, it's so good.
So good.
Yeah, man. And it's just so funny. I'm picturing you hunched over, just spraying your body with water and still drunk. Dude, the shower head. It took me so long moving into the house to figure out how to get it to go, and you had to, like, I don't know, pull the little bottom piece out for everything to go. But
that doesn't sound complicated at all.
Yeah, it took a little bit.
Yeah, you would think so, huh?
You would think.
Let's go to the house right now.
You would think.
So yeah, that's fucking great.
I miss going out with you guys. Story. But well, you never know. Maybe this summer.
Yeah, hopefully.
Maybe this summer, hopefully.
Hopefully soon. Know.
But yeah.
Oh man. All right. Well, summer's coming soon, so there's gonna be plenty of fucking other stories. I know that.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, we got plenty. Absolutely.
That's fucking.
And we don't plan on slowing down, so. Boys, so episode 4, Whiskey Talk.
Yeah.
How we feeling?
Feeling good, man. Fucking sick and tired of the snow, though.
Yeah.
Snow's kicking
sick and tired. And I'm thank God we got this in. You know, our schedules, haven't been lining up as we planned.
Yeah.
The snow really fucked us up a little bit. But, yeah. No, honestly, we're missing Anthony tonight. Tomorrow's Valentine's Day, so he, had to do his thing with his girl. Totally understandable. And we were supposed to do it last night, but, the ball dropped on that.
Anthony's here in spirit, though.
Of course,
yeah.
Of course. We definitely miss him.
Yeah.
We had a great fucking first podcast with all 4 of us finally. And, so I'm just happy that we got this in finally.
Definitely. I think it's safe to say that we got a lot accomplished from the from the last podcast.
Oh, yeah.
So we're now on Apple. So you guys can follow us on Apple, on Spotify, at Whiskey Talk. We're on YouTube, obviously, so like, share, and subscribe. And our Instagram is _ Whiskey Talk.
Yeah.
So show some love, show some support, right?
Yeah,
show the boys some love.
Yeah, absolutely. We got a lot done behind the scenes.
Definitely got a lot done. All credit to Sal. Shout out to Sal. And we've been making some good moves and just trying to get ourselves out there, and hope you guys just can show us some love and listen to us babble about our bullshit, right?
Babble about some bullshit.
Yeah. But the snow's really been getting in the way of our meets.
Bro.
But we've still seen each other.
Yeah.
Hung out for the Super Bowl, right? Had a good time.
We had a great time. We got my mom hammered. My mom drank 2 bottles of wine.
Yeah.
2
bottles of wine,
bro.
She listened. She was strong. She was strong.
She was
very strong.
We had a dance party.
We had a dance party. all genres of music. We had some old school. We had some disco. We had some old rap. Big Sal even got in the mix a little bit. You know, we had a good time.
He tried to shut us down, though.
Tried to shut us down,
but we didn't shut down.
We didn't shut
A few
down.
times
No.
he tried to shut down.
Yeah.
Didn't happen.
He had to put his foot down a little bit, though. He had to,
Didn't work.
Didn't work.
Super Bowl was good, though. How'd you guys feel about the Super Bowl?
Honestly, bro, I know, like, fucking half the fucking, I guess, country, you can say, is absolutely shocked. Not shocked because the Buccaneers won, but how Kansas City didn't perform.
Didn't show up.
Didn't
Yeah.
perform as expected. Didn't score a single touchdown. And for that powerhouse of
They
an
didn't
offense,
score. I thought
no,
Not a
Patrick
single
Mahomes didn't have a single touchdown.
not a single fucking touchdown.
bro.
Did he have a lot of turnovers or no?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
I forget.
honestly,
I'm sorry.
not personally. I think he had maybe one or two intos.
Yeah, I think it took
Okay.
If that, 2 picks, the most. So it wasn't really on him. He was making those fucking ridiculous plays, you remember.
Yeah.
Throwing, like, his knuckles
parallels
scraping
with-
the fucking ground. Like,
Yeah, dude.
if he would have completed those passes, like the one that he got tackled and full on windmilled it to,
Well,
I believe it was
under
Tyreek Hill.
scoop.
Under scoop, yeah.
Yeah.
To fucking, I think it was Tyreek Hill. In the end zone, it hit him in the helmet.
bro. He hit
Like this,
two
boop.
receivers in the helmet, bro.
Gotta catch him.
You gotta.
You gotta just. If
gotta.
it's anywhere
It's a
in your
different
area,
game.
you got. Yeah.
You catch
gotta make
those 2
plays.
touchdowns,
Yeah.
different ball game. But yeah, man. I mean, all credit to the Bucs. Honestly, they fucking that. In my opinion, I know it's very controversial because of people think the refs were favoring Tom Brady, but besides that,
We've been running that same.
I
same line
know.
since
But you know
20
what?
days.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, the
Yeah.
Bucs defense shut them the fuck down.
Yeah.
No matter even
Todd Bowles
even on
did
the
his
Defense.
thing.
defense wins
wins.
championships. It does. I said that in the beginning of the month. Defense wins championships, and the Bucs have a very, very. I'm actually underrated because people know they're good, but
Todd Bowles did his thing.
yeah, he sucks
Never
as a
did,
fuck.
he never did that for the Jets, but he did
Sucks
his
as a
thing.
head coach, but goddamn, he can run a defense.
Yeah.
Never did that for the Jets.
I think if you take the spotlight off of the coach and he's able to channel his energy into
He
a
did what he's
different.
good at.
Yeah, exactly.
He's a
you
great
know,
defensive coach.
That's it.
So
yeah.
what are you gonna be?
He
in
just
defensive
can't run a
plays?
team.
Can't run a team.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think anybody can run that
to
team.
credit the Jets or to discredit the Jets, nobody can run the Jets. So like that's
Moving on.
unless Belichick wants to take a shot at that,
No shot.
I don't think that's gonna
You
happen.
know,
anytime
you know
soon.
the Jets.
The day Belichick runs the Jets is the day GSP grows a man bun. All right, which
GSP
honestly
grows a
isn't-
man bun, you
isn't
won't
too
see me
far
again.
off, yeah.
I'm going bold. I'm going opposite. But you know it's bad for the Jets, man, when Deshaun Watson gets fucking his basically not released, but he's able to fucking get traded to wherever he wants.
Yeah.
To his acceptance. And people asked him, would you consider going to the Jets? And he said, absolutely not. They're not on my list of teams. That's when you know it's
Bro,
bad.
there's kids in college who would rather go back for another year than get drafted in the first round to the Jets. Are you kidding me?
Oh my god. I feel bad. I really do.
You know what's
I don't
crazy is
agree.
like I feel like as a young up and coming college athlete, you have so much potential, and you don't want anything to break your stride. So you want to go to the team that's going to give you the best shot, right? You don't want to go to the Jets and
that's
feel like
not
you get
the Jets.
derailed. But for an older athlete who's saying to himself, I've kind of done it all, and maybe I can go to a team and push them in the right direction, like LT.
That's still
You got
not
nothing
the-
to lose.
Okay, he came to the Jets. What happened?
I know, but I'm saying like I feel like these young kids like they don't want to come to the Jets. They
Bro,
don't want to play for
You
New York
come
right now.
to the Jets when your career is ready to die.
Yeah, honestly, I mean that's pretty much
When you're on your
that's
way
pretty much how
out.
to
or you want career suicide.
yeah.
It's a shame.
They've always had that rep. It's crazy.
The
It's
fucking
just-
Knicks.
Ha!
At least the Knicks were champion contenders. I mean, it's
In the
it's-
90s?
and I was gonna say it doesn't seem too long ago, but the 90s were a long time ago. So, but
the 1 year in 2012.
yeah, when they had Melo, that he had his one good year with the Knicks, but Yeah, it's listen, Brady coming from somebody who would root for the Jets and seeing Brady absolutely
Maul us.
destroy the Jets for years and years and years. I do have a lot of respect for the guy, and just
I used to hate the guy, bro. I respect him now
Yeah.
more than anything. Really, I really do.
Yeah, I'm in the same
You
boat.
can't- you
I'm
just-
in the same boat.
You can't respect that resume. You can't respect. I mean, you can't disrespect that resume. You can't. He's just he's the GOAT. As far as quarterbacks, he's the GOAT. There's no catching that. And
listen. There's guys like Dennis Rodman, right? That are able to play good
the
and
worm.
also stay in the tabloids. And then there's guys like Tom Brady, like Derek Jeter, that are able to stay out of the spotlight, get the job done, be a good role model, and move forward.
Me,
And I have
stay out of the spotlight. You see Derek Jeter's girlfriends?
Derek Jeter has dated a lot of man,
The guy's a stud.
yeah. But you
He's the captain.
got a lot of respect for guys who are able to keep a clean resume outside off the professional football field, baseball field. And Brady's always been that guy. He's a family guy, and I've always liked that about him. I know we have our mixed feelings about Brady, but the guy just is a robot on the field, and he seems like a pretty damn good human being off the field too. So nothing but respect to
He's
him.
the ultimate competitor, bro.
Ultimate competitor.
That's yeah.
It's when you talk about like peak competitiveness, it's him and MJ. That's it.
Speaking of MJ, so finally got around to watching The Last Dance, the documentary on the '90s Bulls, and I'm halfway in, like 5 episodes in, and I knew it was gonna be a good watch.
How do you
was
like it?
What's that?
How do you like it?
5 episodes in, like I said, I knew it was gonna be a good watch, but I'm really, it's a really good watch, and it really captures. You can make a documentary on anything, and as long as you capture the right elements and you do it the right way, you can really encapsulate the time period, and that's what whoever did this documentary, they had the film crew follow them around, they're able to do, and it's like 90s nostalgia, but also behind the scenes of the, not just on the court, but off the court between the, not even just the players, like Phil Jackson and, the head coach and the higher-ups, and it's just...
The whole Bulls organization.
Yeah, for anybody who likes sports, anybody who likes a good documentary, honestly, even if you don't like sports, it's just a well-made documentary, and shout out The Last Dance, because it's a good watch.
It's
amazing. I'm a little
honestly.
late to it, but I knew I'd get around to it eventually.
Better late than never.
Better late than never. And, during the Super Bowl, I turned to you guys, right? And I said, listen, if Brady wins tonight, he's got, 6 championships with the Pats, right? I believe? 6?
Yeah.
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 If he wins tonight, it's his first season with a new team. So, what does this
First
mean for
season
him?
in a new conference.
New conference, just everything, man. Just, he probably moved. Like, it's everything. A whole new life for him. And what does this mean for Tom Brady if he wins a championship with the Bucks? And we sat down and, we discussed it. And, I think... even if he lost, his legacy's not going to get ruined. Tom Brady, we know that. It's not going to change nothing. But if he wins, it's definitely gonna push him up even more to where we hold him as the greatest of all time, right? The greatest athlete of all time. And when you think of the greatest athlete of all time, a couple names come to mind, but the first one is definitely Michael Jordan, right? I'd say so. MJ.
Not even the second guess.
And Brady, man, like
If you have both of their career stats in major games, right? Major
playoff games,
Playoff
big games that count,
games.
yeah.
Bowl games.
bowl games, championship games, whatever, they're almost fucking identical. Almost. Except for a couple categories.
Yeah.
And it's fucking kind of scary. It scary in the sense that now it raises the question if who's better. I know you're comparing an apple to an orange because two different fucking sports.
At the end of the day, it's two
But at the end of
competitors.
the day, exactly, it's two competitors in two sports. But, there's one crown. Who the fuck's the best? And I know we all have our opinions, and we're going to weigh in on that. But, MJ came up, third round pick. Huge hype, right? He was expected to be, I'm not going to say, have the career that he did.
Won a national championship.
Yeah.
North
No one expected him to have the career he did, but they expected him to have a very good career.
To be the player. They expect him to be the player he was. Like I'm learning in this documentary that he was regarded as the best player in the NBA early on, but obviously nobody expected 3 and then 3 in a row championship wins. It's definitely not.
Unparalleled. It was unheard of at the time.
It's still unheard of, honestly.
No, it is. It is. But like I say, you look at Tom Brady. The guy was fucking drafted 199th. Right? 199th.
Polar opposite of
out of Michigan, the guy literally had to make a name for himself. MJ had a name, right? And I'm not discrediting MJ because he made that name for himself early on. But Brady made that name for himself very late.
Yeah.
Extremely late. And it wasn't until he got that shot, with the Pats.
Yeah.
He was a backup quarterback, came in, performed, and the rest is history.
And we were, we're 25, 26 now. When Brady started, I think it was 01, right?
Yeah,
02. We were 6,
like
7 years old, and like all we know when you think of a winner, it's Tom Brady. That's our, that's who we, in a way, look up to for somebody who's just a winner, who has a clean slate, who knows how to win championships, who goes to a different place in the playoffs, and you look up to that, you look up to people who are able to take it to the next level. You question if they're even human. And, obviously MJ, that's known about him with Michael Jordan, that he's able to do that. People would even question if he's human with the way that he played, even his competitors. But I think it is comparing an apple to an orange, but what you're looking at here is the legacy. The legacy that
legacy
Brady leaves
versus
behind
legacy.
and the legacy Jordan leaves behind in there. They're pretty damn close, man. Like, Jordan has a pretty clean slate, too. He kept out of trouble as well, and he's a damn good human being, and on and off the court, and legacy's everything. And,
Absolutely.
And neither of them could really do anything to tarnish their legacy at this point, even though Jordan's removed from the game for 20 years. But
to think about that, you're removed from the game for 20 plus years, and you are still regarded as you are the measuring stick, Like, people are imitators. You have heir apparents. You have, Kobe was the closest thing we had to Mike, but
Still
he
is.
had to be, he was being measured to Michael.
No matter how much he wanted to be independent, because Kobe will forever be his own entity. He'll have his own legacy, definitely. But you're compared to Mike just because nobody was able to take it to the next level, and nobody probably ever will. Honestly, it's the world of sports in 2021 in the modern era is a different world now, and it's just there's a lot more that goes into it. Between being protected by the media or how you portray yourself, or being targeted by the media, how you portray yourself. But Ryan is a very big Bulls fan. That's his go-to team for basketball. So if there's someone to talk to about the Bulls and Jordan, it's Ryan. And I'm curious to hear about Ryan Guy's opinion on his take on Jordan, his take on the Bulls. If you wanna, the floor is yours.
He was just he's everything to the franchise,
Yeah.
Like, that franchise was struggling so much prior to him getting there, prior to him getting drafted. He gets drafted, and for years, 7 years of him just leading the league in scoring, and this is coming out of college straight into the league. He's leading the
Already
league in
considered
scoring.
the best player in the NBA.
He was the best player in the NBA, but
in
he
his
just
early
couldn't.
20s.
He didn't have the pieces around him to get to where he needed to be.
Yeah.
once he got the pieces around him to win those championships, you saw he never let anybody else, get to like that he would never give up that crown. 3 straight, takes a break from basketball.
When did he take his break though?
I want to say he took his break.
Because they didn't mention it in the documentary yet.
Around 95.
Oh, so they don't even talk about it then?
No, they do.
Oh, they do? Because I didn't get to that yet, okay.
Yeah, no, they talk about the break. They talk about when he goes and he ventures into baseball. He comes back, though.
The White Sox.
Crazy.
And he makes pro?
Yeah.
I mean, he didn't do amazing, but just to,
I mean, he wasn't
he wasn't good, but
just
he
to
did
make it to pro.
I mean, they also, you got to remember, they took him because of his name. Probably sold, I don't know what the ticket sales were, but I'm sure they fucking sold that every game.
Yeah.
You have
Absolutely.
Michael Jordan playing baseball.
Yeah, I think to this day, even with guys like Tim Tebow, which like the guy or hate the guy, I don't know how you could hate the guy, but listen, he made some really big plays for the time being in the NFL. And then where did he transition to?
Baseball.
To baseball after, right? Yeah.
He plays for the Mets.
He still plays for the Mets?
Last I checked, I haven't heard anything of him in a long
Jackson's
time. But
in a different category, but like it's close to impossible to be a pro athlete in 2 different sports.
No, it is.
It's close to impossible to be a pro athlete in general.
In general,
anything, you know. So for Mike to do it, listen, like you said, they took him for his name, but that you have to have some sort of skill to make it. But Ryan, you can.
But take
continue.
that though, like he goes to baseball. Decides that, you know what, I've still got some left in the tank.
Mm-hmm.
Comes back. He only played like 16 games towards the end of the season that he came back. They got bounced by the Magic. He wasn't in basketball shape. And, that got the gears turning in his head and everything. He comes back the next season. I believe that was, their 73-win season.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so, yeah.
96, 97, right? Yeah.
Absolutely dominates the league.
Yeah.
And that just starts the next repeat.
Yeah.
Was that when Dennis Rodman came? What year did he come to the Bulls?
I believe it was around the time that...
Right, that was when they finally had like the big 3 together, and then they had Steve Kerr. They had the whole squad, but I'm saying those big 3.
But
the original big 3.
The thing about Mike was he got you to play his brand of basketball, and like it or hate it, some of his teammates hated him. But like later on in their careers, they understood what he was doing. The guy just wanted to win.
Just wanted to win. That's it.
At the end of the day,
that's literally all that he wanted.
All he wanted was to win.
Yeah.
He just wanted to be regarded as a winner. He wanted to have a seat at the table with Magic and Larry. And by the end of his career, they can't even sit at his table.
They can't sit at. Yeah, he sits at his own table. That's for sure.
Yeah, he does. But I wrote some stats down here because I'm fucking terrible with my memory. So Brady and Jordan stats side by side. I'll read off Jordan's for you first. 6 titles, 6 final MVPs, 14 All-Star appearances. His playoff record's 30-7, and he is 4th in career points, and obviously his 3rd round pick. Brady, 5 Super Bowls, 4 Pro Bowls. 4 Super Bowl MVPs. I'm sorry, 13 Pro Bowl appearances.
7 Super Bowls now.
7? Oh, I'm sorry. Bucks, no, 7. I'm sorry. 7. Fucking glare. 7, 13 Pro Bowls, 27-9 playoffs, tied for 3rd for the most passing touchdowns, and obviously 199th pick.
Still playing.
And he's still
at
playing.
43 years old.
Still playing.
Yeah.
And he said he wants to play through 45.
Which, I believe it.
And he's playing. He's still considered. I'd say he's definitely still considered to be in his prime. He hasn't really. Maybe he's slowed down a little bit. He's definitely on the
He's definitely a downward slope.
Downward slope of his prime, but he's still in his prime.
So if you can win a Super Bowl on your downward slope.
First year of the team.
That's not to say the Bucks don't have a good. Like I said, I don't know as much with football right now as I normally do, but the Bucks do have a good team. But
this is the most he's ever had weapon-wise.
Without a doubt.
But Brady won them the Super Bowl. Obviously, the team won the Super Bowl, but they wouldn't have made it there without Brady.
And a crazy stat is not even a stat, but just a crazy thing about the Super Bowl is this: each person that scored for the Bucks is people that came after Brady got there, that came to that team because Brady is there. Gronk with 2 touchdowns.
Mm-hmm.
Leonard Fournette, and AB. All because of Brady.
Yeah.
Because this guy comes to the team, he brings that talent to that team because they
It's
want to play with
loyalty.
him.
It's loyalty, and that loyalty follows the greats because, like, you look at and I didn't know this until watching the documentary, but Jordan didn't want to play for anybody other than his coach Phil Jackson.
Yeah.
He was like, "Listen, if Phil's not going to be here, I don't want to be here."
Yeah.
And
The whole squad was willing to jump ship.
Yeah, and like that's just loyalty, and that's another thing you don't see in sports nowadays, that people they'll take their money and they're out, which, like, can't blame them for. But at the end of the day, every pro athlete's making millions of dollars anyway, so like they're getting paid. You just don't see that type of loyalty. People will just jump ship no matter what to get the biggest check, you know, and that type of old school mindset of these guys is a dying art, I feel like.
Oh, without doubt.
Tom Brady isn't a new school quarterback. He's old school, you know. And
yeah, in a way. So I mean, this definitely brings us to the question, and obviously we're all going to weigh our opinions on it. Whose legacy is the best?
So we talked about this before the Super Bowl, but like as it was happening, before we knew Brady was going to win.
Yeah, right.
So and my answer, like a hard answer, just like put your foot down and kind of just get right to it. I still think Jordan has a better legacy, but Tom, for anybody to make it an argument, that's saying something, because there's been a lot of incredible athletes, but there's only a handful when you think of the last 75 years that are considered to be the greatest athlete of all time, and I think Brady is definitely talked about, and I think he gives Michael a run for his money in who has a better legacy.
And that in and of
itself is
accolade, you know?
It's insane to even say.
Yep.
There's nobody modern day that is on that type of level, but I still do think that Jordan, maybe because it was documented better, I don't know, but I do think Jordan does have the
upper hand.
edge. But it's not it's close.
Yeah.
It's close.
Not as you know,
As far fetched as people think.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, I already know what Ryan's gonna say, so I'll go. I'm gonna go with Brady. Honestly, I'm gonna go with Brady, and I hated Brady not up until this point, but probably, you know, up until he made it to the Super Bowl with his team. Just because it's proven you can't beat the fucking guy. No matter where he goes, people thought it was Belichick, and they thought it was, you know,
the system that
the system they're running, and their GM and their owner, you know,
You can't
and
cheat
all
on
these
2 different
scandals
teams.
with him
Yeah.
and all this shit.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, he fucking packed his bags, completely changed the fucking conference.
It's like he
And now he's back on
It's
top.
not even like he had a successful first season. He had the most successful year that you can have. He won the championship. You know, it's not even like he was like, oh, like, yeah, he did really well going to this new team.
He went into free
won the
agency.
Super Bowl.
Went into free agency.
You know?
With every team was just like, okay, who
My
wants to win a
Chargers.
Super Bowl? Who wants to win a
That's
Super
on
Bowl?
my team.
But I'm going with Brady. I'm going with Brady because
I like it.
before he came up, people looked at him as, I'm not gonna say who the fuck is this guy, but kind of like who the fuck is this
Yeah.
guy, because
Would you
you're the
consider
199th pick.
200th
You-
best player. In the
Yeah,
draft.
you're not really expected to do much, and to accomplish what he accomplished so far, and it's crazy to say so far because he's not done. Obviously, I don't know. Who
That's
knows?
a scary
Who knows?
thing.
Who knows if he's
Yeah.
if he's gonna make another Super Bowl? But I'm saying
Yeah.
because he's still gonna play, and he
Yeah.
said he's still gonna play for at least another 2-3 years. And for his legacy to mimic someone of Jordan's caliber, and to create a name for himself the way he did over these past, you know, over this past century or however the fuck long he's playing now, you know, it's just fucking crazy to me. And the man won 7 fucking Super Bowls. 7 Super Bowls as 199th pick.
Another crazy stat that I heard is that he has individually more Super Bowl wins than any other franchise has in total. So he has
I heard
7.
something like that.
And
I heard
that's
something like
more
that.
than any other team has combined in the 100 years of the NFL.
Yeah, I think I heard that said or something very
insane.
similar.
I'm almost positive
so-
that's
And listen, I'm not taking anything away from Jordan. I love Jordan. Jordan, when he played, he was in a different type of basketball. Everyone knows that. That was the real basketball. It wasn't no fucking flopping bullshit.
Yeah.
You fouled someone hard, you were getting punched in the fucking face.
Yeah.
People hopping
And
people
wasn't-
hopping in stands, fighting fucking fans and shit.
Yeah.
That was the NBA back
And
then.
they weren't getting technicals. They were just
No, they weren't scared. The refs let them fucking play ball. That's what it was. And that's how it was when Brady came up. But, people can argue that Brady changed the game because people quote unquote say he was the most protected quarterback.
Yeah.
But, and people say he's
Michael's
a sole
protected too,
thing.
though.
Yeah, to a certain extent.
To an extent.
But the whole league played like that around Jordan.
Yeah.
Like, whenever people played Brady, they felt like
Actually,
they had
you
a
know what?
disadvantage because of, he was protected that caliber.
I can't say that Mike was protected. I mean,
That's what I'm saying. Not like Tom was.
No, not like Tom was. No, not at all.
Not a shot.
The Detroit Pistons implemented the Jordan rules
Yeah.
to literally try to take him out of the
hurt him.
game.
Yeah.
A franchise is no longer. They're not looking at the opponent as a team. They're looking at it as one individual. How can we stop this? Because we stop this man, we stop the Bulls.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
For me, I like when it comes to Jordan, it's he's everything that basketball needed. He's everything that you want to be as a basketball player. He had the athleticism, but he also had played with grace. He had the clutch gene,
honor,
and he was uncompromising. You come to the Bulls, you're gonna play Jordan's brand of basketball, and the only thing we're worried about is winning. You fall in line and you do your job. We're gonna win. You come to practice, you practice hard. We're gonna win a championship.
Yeah, but no, I'm not gonna argue.
You get to the big game.
For me, it's extremely close, and I'm only picking Brady because he came up as the underdog.
Yeah.
To be honest, like I said in the beginning, Jordan was hyped.
Yeah.
Jordan was hyped. People had high expectations of him. And again, I'm not going to say to have the legacy he had, but something similar.
Yeah.
To win
definitely.
a handful of championships and to make the fucking All-Star games that he did and shit like that and to break records. People saw that in him. That's the reason why he got brought up third pick. But Brady, on the other hand, got brought up in the 199th. And at that late, it's almost like a favor. Like, we did you a favor bringing you to the NFL.
Yeah, we didn't have to draft you.
Just imagine if Tom Brady was never, drafted.
Yeah.
It was passed up on.
Yeah.
It was a possibility that late.
I'm going to go the opposite of that because due to that hype and that adds so much pressure to the player.
I can see it. All right.
But it's not as if, he was just drafted third and he exceeded that hype for that franchise. Mike took the NBA, took the game and transcended it worldwide. Look at the Olympics. He was the most famous athlete on the planet in the 90s.
Yeah.
He was the most well-known athlete.
You're right.
He still may be the most well-known athlete of all time, honestly.
Those sneakers still sell.
Yeah, that's.
I'm still buying them.
Household name is an understatement of Michael Jordan. I heard a really good quote, honestly, and it's an obvious quote, but the way the guy worded it just sounded really A, cool, and B, just it just made you kind of put things into perspective. He said Michael Jordan is the best at basketball, or the best at what he does, he's the best at what he does than what anybody else could be the best at. I'm butchering what that means, but meaning that a guy who's the best at work, the guy who's the best chef who's ever lived, Michael Jordan, that's what he's compared to. Do you guys get what I'm saying?
No, I get what you're saying.
So, you find a guy he's the greatest, he's the greatest chef in the world. That's
who he is.
That's Michael Jordan.
That's who
he is. You know what I mean? And when you're putting a guy in that type of category to say he's the best at what anybody else could have ever done, it's just speaking. It speaks more than volumes. Like that's just. It's just crazy to say. It's crazy to hold someone to that type of standard. It's not, he's saying he's the greatest to ever do anything. It's crazy.
Yeah, no, whatever.
And to be talked about that,
it's not really to argue.
20 years removed from retiring, like 20 years is a long time, and he's still regarded as that. And there have been 2 or 3 basketball players since he's retired that have been compared to him, but none of them come as close as they really are regarded.
And if you hear those basketball players talk, like you hear, rest in peace Kobe, but if you go back and listen to his interviews, he says he doesn't get 5 championships without Mike. That's the blueprint. Everything you got from him, he got from Michael. Like that type of influence over, this is what the second generation after Michael, and even like people like LeBron and everybody still, regard Mike as who he is. That influence, dude.
I don't see it ever being topped. I really don't, unless
not on a basketball.
The only thing that I could see being different is like people do forget things over time. Like an example is like Muhammad Ali. Like back in the 70s, people would be like, listen, nobody will ever be regarded as a better athlete than this guy. And then, over time, people just kind of just forget as decades move on. So the only thing I could think about is like, in another couple years from now, maybe people will move on from Jordan's legacy, but I don't see it ever happening. Honestly, I really don't. I don't see it ever being forgotten.
Let me ask you guys this. Take like Pat. Do you think Pat Mahomes, do you think he could ever catch Brady in terms of like the greatest quarterback?
It's funny you say that because I heard some fucking bullshit on, I don't know if it was ESPN or whatever the fucking stupid fucking people was talking about somewhere. Probably was ESPN. They're fucking retarded.
Shout out ESPN.
Yeah. They, someone said, if Mahomes retired today, would he be inducted into the Hall of Fame? And people said yes.
No.
Do you, that's, no. To me, that's so fucking disrespectful to all these fucking athletes that...
No disrespect to Pat.
No, not at all. Yeah. But I'm saying he hasn't earned that yet.
No, yeah.
Is he a very successful fucking 25-year-old kid that's making $450 million?
Yeah.
400 to 50 million.
Hmm?
You went from 400 to 50
No, 450 million.
Oh, yeah, that contract. Yeah.
Like, that's... Yeah, 400. Like, that's just so fucking crazy to even say something like that for all these people like a Jordan or a Brady that prove themselves over time. Because guess what? And I hate to say it, Andy Reid runs the Chiefs, right?
Yeah.
Andy Reid is, I believe, 70 years old.
I don't know about that.
I'm telling you.
Okay. All right.
He's up there.
All right.
He's up there. He doesn't have much coaching left in him. Let's just call it what it is, right? After he leaves, he's gonna.
I don't know if he's 70, but all right, yeah.
I'll look it up.
All right.
He's gonna retire before Mahomes does, obviously.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
He's gonna hang up his headset before Mahomes hangs up his cleats. The person who runs the Chiefs is Andy Reid.
Yeah.
That's not a question. That's not even an argument. Mm-hmm. It's proven. Andy Reid is one of the best head coaches to ever coach in NFL history.
Brilliant mind.
Brilliant. A phenomenal coach. Mm-hmm. Absolute, from head to toe, phenomenal coach. That's where Patrick is learning from. Mm-hmm. That's where he's learning. He just said, I believe last year, he just learned how to read defenses.
Which is wild.
Wild. Didn't even say. For that to come out of his mouth that he just learned how to read a defense and call an audible mid-play, that's insane. But where do you think he learned that from? Didn't learn it from a fucking... whoever the Chiefs quarterback coach is.
No.
Learned it from fucking Andy Reid. He learns all the plays from Andy Reid. And I think once Andy Reid retires and they get a new coach or he switches teams or whatever happens, that's when the true test is going to be put in place, and to see who he is as a person. And I'm not. He's an extremely talented fucking kid. Extremely talented.
Every single weapon that a quarterback could want to have.
Exactly, but look at the Chiefs' offense. Look at the Chiefs' offense.
Oh my God!
Potential.
You're throwing to
no. I'm just saying. I'm not saying his potential.
Cheetah.
Yeah.
I
think
I brought that up because someone said if he retired, I guess I believe it was ESPN. If he retired today, would they induct him to the Hall of Fame? And
yeah, it's crazy.
Some people said yeah, and some people like absolutely not, and they said what I said. I think that's just, I don't know, it's just crazy.
So you can look at it. There's two different ways this could go. If Andy Reid were to retire today, Pat Mahomes and then a new coach would take over, Pat Mahomes would have to adapt to a new coach, right? And he would have to learn under a new coach. But if you have, let's say, there's a scenario where Pat Mahomes develops for 5 to 7 years, let's just say, under Andy Reid, 5 years, right? 5 strong years as a quarterback. He grows with Andy Reid. After 5 years as a top 3 quarterback, you're a veteran, I would say. He'll be old enough to basically spread his wings and fly on his own. Where if a new coach were to come in, Pat would be like, listen, I'm going to show you how I do things. But that's with having somebody take you under their wing for 5+ years. So it'd be a different scenario if Andy Reid were to retire today, then Pat would kind of have to just learn on the fly, and it would greatly affect his development.
Without a doubt.
Now you compare that to Michael, and yeah, I think Michael from this is all opinion from what I'm learning, but he obviously had the right direction in his I forget the first coach's name, but he was very close to the first coach, and then Phil Jackson, he learned a lot from as well. And I'm not going to take away that he learned a lot from them, but it seemed like it was always instilled and built in him how to handle his own business, himself moving forward. He didn't learn as much from people as Pat has to.
The only thing he had the only imprint that Phil had to make on MJ was he had to start trusting his teammates.
Yeah. And that was the difference between the two coaches.
Yeah.
The first coach was all about Michael. The second coach was all about the team. The first coach
lets Michael go.
Yeah.
You know, if we're going to win, Mike, you're going to go score 60.
Yep.
And when Phil came, Phil said, look, we know you can score 60. The league knows you can score 60. But it's because the league knows you can score 60 is why you kept hitting that wall.
Yep.
Because you know what? If they just let you do your thing, but completely, render everyone else useless, we just have to beat your 60.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Phil said you start trusting your teammates, we start winning.
Which is something you have to credit to LeBron, not to bring somebody else into the mix, but LeBron is you have to give it to him, whether you like the guy or hate him. He's a very unselfish player when it comes to involving his other teammates. The guy can pass better than most point guards. He has better court view, better than most point guards, and he will. 2010 LeBron versus 2021 LeBron are two different players, but now he will let somebody else take the shot if he feels they have the shot. Obviously, he wants to take the shot, but he trusts his teammates to make the right decision.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that was something that Michael had to learn, maturing.
Yeah.
But where Bron is that natural passer, where Bron will trust his teammates and will make the right basketball play. Honestly, he's making the right basketball play. People will complain and say as a star player, you need to take the last shot. You need to hit the dagger. And there's some truth to that. Michael had that killer instinct.
Yeah, no, and I take that over LeBron any day.
Michael,
so did Kobe.
If he's going to beat you, he's going to be the one with the knife in your heart.
And I take that over, and I agree. I think that's the way to go. I'd rather have that.
He's just a killer.
Yeah.
Killer. But
Brady's a killer.
He is. They're both.
If there's time
both different
on the
animals
clock,
with both almost identical legacies.
If there's time on the clock, Brady will get it done.
That's the thing. It's hard to compare apples to oranges, but if Brady's on the sidelines, right, and the game is about to be won for him, right? He's not sitting on the sideline saying, "I'll let my defense take care of it." He's saying on sidelines like, "I want to get out there and I want to end this myself." That's how he's looking at it.
I want to put more points on the board.
I want to.
Without a doubt.
That's it. That's just what it comes down to, you know. And
you can't teach that mentality.
You can't. Yeah, I think it's something that you either just develop along the way or you're born with it or whatever. But it's you can't teach that. You can't teach those instincts.
No.
The clutch gene is something that
you're born with it or you're not.
You're born with it. You're not, or it just develops, but you can't teach it. You know, it's gonna come to you.
It does have to come to you.
Yeah. But listen, this is gonna be a conversation that's gonna be brought up a lot now. I'm not saying by us, but just in general, by
definitely.
the general population, by
any
any news network that you get sports information from, maybe regular news, definitely ESPN Sports Center, First Take, Fox, Sports, CBS Sports, whatever the hell you watch. This is going to be a conversation that is going to be brought up. Brady versus Jordan's legacy, and I think it was a great topic to touch on, especially right after obviously a fantastic performance by Brady and the Bucks. So
a good effort by Pat.
Of course, a great effort by Pat. Yeah. He gave his all, and he had a fucking broken toe, right?
Turf toe. Just got surgery on turf toe.
Turf toe, whatever the fuck it was.
Which is pretty serious, yeah.
But
running 500 yards, bro, scrambling for 500 yards. Out of the pocket just to try to make plays.
And making plays.
That?
Making plays, just them not developing on the other end. But he was making the plays.
Yeah.
Making the passes, dude.
Yeah.
It's. But yeah.
Definitely, we're gonna run a poll on our Instagram. On our Instagram, brand new Instagram, like we said, follow us at _Whiskey Talk on Instagram. We're also obviously on YouTube, so like, share, and subscribe. Obviously, Whiskey Talk. Also, Apple Podcasts and Spotify now. Same thing, Whiskey Talk. Show some love on there. Show
some love.
That's it. Show some love. And it's great. It's great. We love doing this. We're going to keep doing it. We enjoy it. We miss Anthony. And
we'll have Anthony for episode 5, hopefully.
Yeah, definitely.
Looking forward to it.
But like I said, we're going to run a poll on our Instagram, so make sure you follow us again at _Whiskey Talk. Brady versus MJ. And that's gonna wrap it up for tonight for us. From myself, 5. Ryan, and Christopher, we thank you guys for watching and listening. Like, share, and subscribe. Thank you. Whiskey Talk.